Okay, Field Day 2017. This is the first group that I'm interviewing / recording / whatever the heck. And I forgot my windscreen, so I apologize for any wind in the mic right now. But this is the MJARS Club, Mansfield Johnson Amateur Radio Service, MJARS, down in Mansfield, Texas, which is south of Fort Worth. And they're usually one of the top contenders for the North Texas Section Division. They've got several beams out here that you can see. In the field working on another antenna. There's a trailer right here with a tower on the trailer that rises up, a telescoping tower on the trailer right there, and then they've got some other antennas out here also. So I'm going to get some footage of the antennas in this area and maybe try to get one or two of the guys to do a really quick interview and just talk about Field Day. And this is one of the clubs this is the club that is probably farthest from my home location, but it's the one that I try to attend a lot because they've got a lot of new hams and they've got a lot of new activity down here. They didn't have a club down here for a while, and it started a few years back, and it's been growing by leaps and bounds ever since. So it's got a lot of really good ham radio activity down here, and they've got connections in with both the city and the county down here. And in fact, the city of Mansfield, there's 3 counties that intersect in the city of Mansfield. It's Johnson County, Tarrant County, and I forget the third one right now. So they've got contacts in 3 different county municipalities, plus the city of Mansfield. And they're doing some really cool stuff down here with mesh networking, which I'll be getting on video in a later episode. And they really enjoy Field Day, so they put a lot of effort into it. So let's take a look at the MJARS Club from Mansfield, Texas for Field Day 2017.
I really do like this drone. It was one of the better investments I've made for the video series so far. So this is the meeting location for the MJARS Club, which is right behind their fire station. This is the big field that they set up in. They get to set up all their antennas each year in this field, and they've got, gosh, I don't even know how long the coax is. They got a long run of LMR 400 that runs from this quad they're setting up right there all the way back up to that station right there on the left. And they've got all this area over here. This area on the other side of the tree line is something else, but between the tree line and the fence over there is all fire station property. And they're able to use this pretty much. They have to reserve it, I think, each year, but they've operated here for the last several years that I know of. This is one of their antennas here. They only had 2 or 3 set up this day. They had plans for at least 2 more. So there's a beam right there. I think that's a 20-meter beam, if I remember correctly. And this is more shots of them setting up the quad. That took the longest to set up that quad. It's a quadrature configuration, and it's all just wire. Here in a second, I'm going to do a speed-up video of like an hour and a half's worth of work to set up the quad. It's hard to see from this angle, but you can see they've got plenty of room. This is going back, this is after the quad's already been set up. You can see it right there. And it kind of zoom around here, and that big beam, that big mast on top is the centerpiece where the 2 elements hang down on the front and 2 more elements on the back, which again is just wire. but they have it tied off to like all four corners of this big field behind the water tower. So it's quite a thing to set up and use. And of course, this is everyone out there working to put up. That's the center. Of course, it's just a telescoping mast in the center, and the big cross member on the top is what we just saw from the air. This is the shot from the ground. All right, good morning. Welcome to Field Day 2017. We saw yesterday. Today's the actual Field Day day. Yesterday we were in the Mansfield Club in Mansfield, Texas, watching them set up antennas, and that was interesting to see. That 40-meter quad they have, that's a screaming monster of an antenna. It really is. And it's all homebrew, I was told yesterday, which I think I knew that, but I had forgotten. And the guy who built it lends it to the club every year. In fact, he might have built it for the club. I can't remember right now. But it's definitely a talking antenna. So afterwards, it was, you can see it's kind of gloomy out here right now. It's been raining most of the morning. I took this chance to step out and get some time in front of the camera when it's not raining and get my equipment rained on. I'm going to get one of their antennas in the background, which you'll see here in a bit on some drone footage I got. But try to interview the Mansfield guys after setting up that antenna yesterday. It was about 90 degrees outside. Everybody was hot, sweaty, and sticky, and their shirts were sticking to them, and their hair was all dripping with sweat, and nobody wanted to go on camera that way. So I didn't get the chance to interview anyone from the Mansfield Club, the MJARS Club. But maybe next year. Maybe next year I'll probably switch it around and do some different clubs next year. Besides these ones I'm doing this year. But I just wanted to get some time documenting the different clubs who rank among the highest in the ARRL West Gulf Division, #1, but also in Texas, because West Gulf includes some parts of Oklahoma and Louisiana, and maybe some Arkansas. I can't remember exactly where the line is drawn right now, but there's 3 sections in Texas, which is North Texas, South Texas, and West Texas. West Texas is a good 6 to 8 hours from here, and but South Texas is only about 4. So I drove about 4 hours this morning, got down here to the Brazos Valley Amateur Radio Club, which is where I'm standing now. We're about to do an interview with Scott, one of the guys who puts on who's responsible for doing the setup here at the fire department for the 4 clubs that are represented here today under the call sign of KK5W, Kilo Kilo 5 Whiskey. So let's take a look at that interview with Scott, and he's agreed to speak with us for just a few minutes, and then we're going to get some looks inside the operating room, what I call the operating room. Sounds like a surgical center. It's actually the room where they're set up to operate CW, digital, and phone, and they have a GOTA station that they're working on setting up right now as well. So this is KC5HWB with the Ham Radio 2.0 video podcast series, recording from Richmond, Texas, just south of Houston. I'm here with Scott Medberry, KD5FBA. Thank you for talking with me today.
You're quite welcome.
Okay, and we are at the Brazos Valley Amateur Radio Club Field Day event, but it's not just the BVARC Club. Somebody dropped something on the table over there. That's fine. They operate under the call sign of KK5W, but you're comprised of 4 clubs, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so tell me about the 4 clubs and how you came to be, and where did the KK5W call sign come from?
Well, the KK5W came from one of our members years ago, who is now a silent key, and his widow granted us the privilege of using his call as our club call.
That's good.
So, and we've got 4 clubs this year for the first time.
Okay.
In the past, we've used the Texas DX Society and Echo Society as well. But this year we added and invited the Katy Club the Katy Amateur Radio Society, to join us because they lost their venue for field day.
Okay.
And being ham radio operators, we're inclusive.
Of course, yeah, okay. So Katy, Texas is a little town outside of Houston, Katy, Texas. So, I've been through there a few times, but viewers may not know that. So I just clarify there. But we're actually in Sugar Land right now, right?
We're actually in Richmond.
We're in Richmond, okay.
In Richmond, Texas.
Richmond, Texas, which is also a suburb of Houston. So you've got, the Echo Society. Where are they from?
They're from Houston.
They're from Houston. Okay. So you've got BVARC, Echo,
Texas
DX, and then Katy.
And Katy.
Okay, good.
And the Texas DX Society's call K5DX is our Get on the Air station.
That's your GOTA station. Okay.
Yes.
And the guys are setting up a GOTA antenna out here right now. So,
that's correct.
Okay, good. All right, good. Well, I wanted to drive around, and Texas is a big state to drive around. I wanted to drive around to some of the clubs or some of the clubs / groups or whatever that got the highest scores in the last couple years of field day. And you guys were #1 in the West Gulf Division for the last 2 years running.
That's correct.
And that's because of you got an 8 alpha station in there, so I'm sure that's one reason why.
Right. That's one reason why.
Okay.
And we've got a number of top-notch CW operators.
That's good.
And to complement it, we've got the sideband stations and RIDI, as well as a 6-meter station on voice.
Okay.
And then we've got the GOTA station.
Right. Okay. So you're operating all the way up to
from 80 meters through 6.
And then are you doing anything with VHF?
We may see what we can do on 2 meters.
2 meters.
And because we've got a 2-meter antenna up.
Okay. I thought you had mentioned that earlier. So
yes.
okay. Well, Scott, very good. Thank you for allowing me to be here. And it's very exciting to see everybody in there. We're going to get some aerial footage. I'm recording this afterwards, but I've got some drone footage we're going to put up, and then of all the different antenna arrays, which is really neat looking. That took a lot of work yesterday, I bet.
Yes, it did.
Did you get it done before the rain started?
Yes, fortunately.
Okay.
Most of it was up before the rain ever started.
Good. We're standing in the fire station garage right now because it's raining outside, and we didn't want to disturb everyone in the operating room. So, we've got this behind us with the literature for ham radio literature. So thank you very much, Scott. Thanks for letting me interview you. I know that nobody wants to do that, so
that's right.
But it's good. Okay. Well, good luck in the contest today.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir. This was a neat concept I hadn't actually seen before. Instead of towers, portable towers, they're using these bucket trucks. I don't know who owns these, but they've got these portable bucket trucks that they sit up in there's 2 of them in the field. There's one there on the far left you can barely see in the screen. There's the one that's right underneath the drone right now. And then there's one that's where the drone is flying towards. And this is also at a fire station. As we just saw, the interview that I just had with Scott previous to this scene here was inside the fire station. So I don't know if the fire station owns this field or not, but regardless, this is where all their antennas were set up. And they were gracious enough to let me fly the drone. It's actually raining right now, just kind of slowly drizzling, I guess, with a large drop kind of here and there, not very much. I wanted to get the drone footage before because I was afraid it was going to start raining real hard, and I'd want to fly my drone in the heavy rain or wind, and it never really started heavy raining or wind when I was there, so it worked out fine. But if you see smudges on the camera screen, that's why. It's because it's actually kind of drizzling right now. So this is another, this one actually is a tower, and the other 2 are bucket trucks that are used for, working on power lines or working on tall buildings or something like that. Who knows? Various uses. This is looking back towards the fire station there, which is the building in the white. And there's a tower on the right-hand side of that building that's a permanent tower. That's where the fire department antennas and public safety antennas are. And there was a couple of dipoles hanging off of it for field day. This is another shot of that same tower. They've got a folded dipole on the top for their VHF system up there. And this is that same front bucket truck. That highway there going left to right is the main drag through town, or one of the main drags through town, I should say. And those are up those antennas are up about 50 feet. There's the third one over there. I didn't actually see that one at first. They told me it was back there. I'm like, oh, I thought that was something else. I couldn't really see that it had antennas on it originally. But they definitely got a really great setup here. They operated it as I said a moment ago, they operated it as 8 alpha. So, of course, if you got 8 stations that can run simultaneously, you've got to have enough antennas for everybody. Just more shot of the same stuff here. Wanted to make sure to get all angles with it. Here in a second, we're going to fly over to the third antenna. Or the third, more than one antenna, the third bucket truck, I should say. But the Texas flag on top was nice. Okay, this is the third bucket truck here with the 2 or 3 element beam on top of it. I don't remember which bands were which. The other one looks like it's actually, this one's got 2 3 element beams on top of it and a vertical. And this was their setup. Marv. I'm here with Marv N58W, and this is the location for W5CT, correct, for
Right.
field day?
Yeah.
Now, where did the call sign come from?
That's the Central Texas DX and Contest Club call, and
Okay.
I'm the trustee of it.
You're the
actually.
trustee of the
Yeah.
of the call sign. Okay,
Right.
great. How many members are there?
Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to guess. You know, it's so far away. I get there about once or twice a year.
Okay.
They meet monthly, but I
Okay,
would
all
guess
right.
they've got about 40 members.
About 40 members. Okay, that's good. So this is. You told me over email that you didn't have the typical setup, and I was thinking something meager. And this is not meager. So, but you're participating in WRCT this year.
WRTC.
TC,
yes.
WRTC.
Well, it's actually next year, but I'm.
Well, right, in 2018.
You're right.
Yeah, next-
I'm the qualifier from our area. Anyway.
Okay, that
So-
is fun. That is fun because I read Jim's book, and I actually recorded the at Hamcom last month. Tim Duffy, K3LR.
Okay, yeah.
He did a presentation about WRTC.
Well, good.
And you know, just kind of tell everybody what it was about, and guys, good to meet you guys. And ask for donations. Say, you know, it costs this much to go
Right,
here, and everybody's
yeah.
got to go to Germany this time, right? It's in
Right,
Germany
near
this time.
near
so-
Berlin.
Yeah, near Berlin. So,
Yeah.
well, that's going to be on my bucket list. I don't know if I'll make it next year, but I'd like to go up there and just, you know, kind of what, because they said that they invite everybody.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of just observers there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was at last one in Boston. I was a referee, and the one in Moscow in 2010, I was a competitor. But
Okay.
it's quite an experience.
I bet it is. I bet it is. That seems like it's a. That seems like it would be something like a once in a lifetime type
Oh,
thing
absolutely.
for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So I don't think I'm going to ask you how many antennas you got back there. Do you even know?
Well, he's talking about towers or antennas.
Antennas,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of dipoles back there and
Yeah,
just
there's-
wire
there's-
antennas.
There's probably at least a dozen antennas, more than that. Probably.
Okay.
There's 6 on this tower right here if you're going to count all the dipoles.
And this one in the back corner here, is it? I'm going to guess that's like 60 feet.
The one in the back there is actually 137 feet.
It does doesn't look that tall.
Yeah, well, when you sit next to this 300-foot tower, it doesn't look.
Well, that's probably what it is.
It doesn't look so big.
Okay.
Yeah.
The 300-foot tower is a commercial tower.
That's right. It's
Okay.
actually emergency services for Llano and Burnett counties.
Okay.
So the
Okay.
ambulance and police and all those people are on it.
Okay. Okay. But you've got some dipoles on it too.
I have one antenna.
One antenna.
An 80-meter delta loop.
Oh, nice, nice.
Yeah.
So I bet you guys do a lot of contacts. I was watching them in there. The guy sitting at the CW station was doing really well.
Yeah.
And how many contacts you think you've got so far?
Well, we had over 1,100 about an hour ago, so we're probably up around 1,300 now.
Okay. And it's
1250.
about, what time is it? It's about 9? No.
Yeah, about 20 minutes to 9.
Okay, so we've been going about 7.5 hours, probably, something like that.
Yeah.
And you're at 1,300. That's really good.
Right. Last year we had, in 24 hours, we had 3,600. So
Okay.
I don't think we're going to make that many this year.
Okay.
It's not as good a condition.
The bands are the bands were down last year, as I recall, too. But yeah, they've been
Yeah.
kind of pathetic last few months.
Well, like 15 meters is not near as good this year as it was last year, and
Okay.
so
Okay. Well,
it hurts things.
we do what you can, I guess.
Yep.
So
Yep.
okay. Well, thank you very much for letting me come out. This has been an experience,
Okay.
and you got some really cool stuff. Now, you're not using all a dozen antennas for field day, are you?
We use nearly
Just
everything
about
out there.
Okay.
Uh,
And you're how many stations are? But you only have 2 operational stations.
That's right.
Okay.
So when we change bands, we change another antenna.
Right.
And then we got some antennas pointed one way, and you can switch antennas for hear a station the other direction.
Right,
So you just
okay.
switch to the other antenna. But we'll be operating on 5 different bands, maybe 6. But
Okay. Okay.
We'll use a lot of the antennas here, and what makes it fun for us is we have a lot better antennas than most people on field day, so we get a lot more attention.
Yeah. And you're and you told me earlier you're 1,280 feet above sea level at
Right.
at ground level.
Right.
But-
Right. And we're about 300 feet above the road that you drove in here on.
Yeah.
So.
I'm so glad I brought my drone with me. That's going to be
Yeah,
some really good
that'll
stuff
be
to
neat.
see. So
That will be neat.
Well, thanks a lot, Marv. I appreciate you letting me come out
Okay.
here. It was a chore to find, but it's really I love the hill country down here.
Yeah.
I've lived in Texas my whole life.
Yeah.
I used to have a friend in high school that had a deer lease right outside of Burnett.
Okay.
And we used to go hunting down here a lot, and I just love this part of the state. So thank you very much, and good luck in the contest.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right. This was a treat to video record. I'll tell you what, right now, this was fun. This was probably my favorite part of the trip because of the setup that Marv has, N5AW has up here. And boy, I'm really, really glad I had the drone with me on this one. You're looking at a 1,280 foot above sea level mountain, which of course we're in the air right now. And I'm standing on top of the mountain in Burnett, Texas, just outside of Burnett, Texas, kind of between Burnett and Kingsland. And you can see for miles and miles, and it's no wonder these guys make so many contacts on field day. This is the house here. You got to drive up the road, and it's a steep incline to come up the road from the highway. I did shoot a on-the-road video doing some field day operation, which I'm going to put up in a later episode, so you'll be able to see that in there. I just kind of went, I just kind of kept going. I thought this is a pretty part of the state. This is down in what's called hill country in Texas, and really good deer hunting down here if you're into that sort of thing, and just a really pretty part of the state. It would have been better to get, I mean, this was probably about 7 o'clock at night, or no, probably about 8 to 8:30 at night when I shot this. The interview with Marv was shot afterwards, but the interview I just watched with Marv, I just showed, it was actually done after I wanted to get drone footage while the sun was as high in the sky as I could when I was there. So this is probably between 7:30 and 8, sometime like that. I wouldn't mind going back one of these days and getting some more drone footage with the sun directly overhead about noontime or something. This is coming back from the road towards the house. See, that's the main house there, and the little building behind it is their ham shack, which I've got a little indoor shot of that here upcoming. The big tower in the back is that commercial tower Marv was talking about. And then all the other smaller towers are his ham radio towers. He said the tallest one was 137 feet. And he's got more than a dozen antennas out there. So this was, like I said, this was a fun thing to video record. I really appreciate Marv and the W5CT guys allowing me to come out and take a look at this and record their footage with the drone and with the interview both, because this was well worth the trip. Got to be real careful not to run into any dipoles. That's why I'm so high. I would get lower, but you know, it's hard to see dipoles that are strung up through a drone camera when you're looking at it on your smartphone attached to the remote control. The last thing I want to do is crash it into anything, not only because I don't want to mess up my drone, but I don't want to mess up their antennas, of course. They're actually operating field day when I'm doing this. And this was definitely the best drone footage I got today. So this is their ham shack. This is actually Marv's ham shack. You see his call sign here in a second. These are all the awards and certificates and ARRL mentions and everything he's got. That's his call sign there, N5AW. I asked him about it. He said, man, I ran out of room. I've actually got a lot more in the filing cabinet. So this would be, if I had that many awards, I'd display them all over my ham shack too. Very cool stuff in here. CQ Magazine, ARRL, sweepstakes, all kinds of stuff. N5AW. Field Day Takedown. Okay, we are ending Field Day 2017. Thanks for watching the episode. I got to see 4 different clubs this time. I missed out on the Dallas club because I didn't realize this was my mistake. I didn't realize at first, but they hadn't. I know where the Dallas club meets, but I don't know where they do field day. So they hadn't sent me that information in email. When I looked at my email this morning, I was like, they're like, oh yeah, that'd be great to have you come out Sunday morning, okay, et cetera, and I'm like, yeah, but where are you? And I didn't notice that before today. So I emailed them this morning, but they didn't respond. They're out doing field day. They're not looking at their email. So, so this is the Hearst Club. Everybody's tearing down here. They made a few contacts, not really that many. They were very, it was really kind of more of a party out here than anything, just kind of a hangout and chill out session. But they've been out in this park all night for the whole 24 hours. Not everyone stayed the whole 24 hours, but several of them did. So I was here last night. I got here about midnight last night, stayed for an hour, went home, crashed, came back this morning. And it's about shutdown time now, about 1 p.m., a little bit before 1 p.m. on Sunday afternoon. So this year we got to see the MJARS Club down in Mansfield, the BVARC Club, Brazos Valley Club down in Richmond, Texas. And then we got to see the Central Texas Club up in Burnet, Texas. And then doing the close down video here at the Hearst Club, which is W5HRC. This is KC5HWB for the Ham Radio 2.0 video podcast series. Thanks for watching. If you found me on YouTube, go hit up my website at livefromthehamshack.tv. And I'm going to be doing more episodes upcoming, of course. And this is the kind of thing that I really like to do, is just exposure of amateur radio in anything and everything that is interesting in amateur radio, anything that's new in amateur radio. and a lot of stuff that's some of the more sought after activities. Field day is a big activity for amateurs in the United States. Pretty much everyone participates in it, and in one way or the other, even if you don't operate, even if you're one of the guys who helps set up and tear down, but you don't operate, it's still a big help. I know a lot of these clubs that set up in a field this way or set up at the EOC need help setting up antennas the day before and tearing down antennas the day after and that kind of thing. So it's I know that there's a lot of guys out here like that, and they do a really good job with it. So 73 guys, thanks for watching. This is KC5HWB. If I talk to you on the air during field day, I was operating as Kilo Charlie 5 Hotel Whiskey Bravo 1 Charlie from South Texas, because I was in South Texas at the time. 1 Charlie means I'm a mobile station. I think I made one contact in North Texas, but everything else was in South Texas. So 73, thanks for watching. Thanks for working me on the air if I was one of the contacts you made. And we will see you next week. I'll be QRT.